At its core, Pacific Drive presents itself as a science fiction supernatural adventure through an evacuated area located in the Pacific Northwest. I was able to play a few hours of the game's opening to learn more about its systems and gameplay features, but I found more interest in the relationship between the player character and a strange car that you stumble upon. So, while the survival elements are on full display from the beginning, I found that they are only the building blocks to a more important aspect of this game, and it's something I'd like to see explored in later chapters. The opening of Pacific Drive places the player character driving straight for the Olympic exclusion zone without a real destination besides moving forward. This area is off limits as strange supernatural events take place beyond the walls. Unable to fix the issue, the government has walled it up, and you happen to be right next to it when an anomaly pulls you in. After getting through the woods, you find a working vehicle and you're told over the radio that this may be a remnant, but we don't need to get into what that all is right now. Anyway, navigating the gameplay systems took a bit of time because there's little in the way of automation when exploring, interacting with the environment, or even starting the car. Early in my playthrough, I was a little confused as to why my car was rolling backwards after I got out of it, and then I realized it was because I didn't put it into park. This system immerses players in the hectic state of intensity if they are racing against the clock and expected to turn the car on and actually put it into drive. So although it took me some time to get the hang of, I enjoyed the minimal hand-holding from the developer. That said, I did get lost more than a few times as missions were unclear about how to progress or how to acquire what is needed to craft the objects. I got the feeling that this game isn't meant to be raced through though, and going off the beaten path isn't necessary to advance the story. In fact, I restarted my playthrough several times because I missed some crucial instructions or did something out of order, which I hope is adjusted in the final build. That aside, Pacific Drive is a survival game with some depth. There are plenty of ways to spend your time gathering materials, crafting, creating new tools, and running from intimidating alien things. However, at one point in the game, a part of the Remnant lore is conveyed that the person that the Remnant bonds with becomes obsessed with it, and in this case, the Remnant is a car. While playing, I felt the constraints of this relationship as I traveled into the strange zones that required me to leave the car. For some reason, the further I got away from it, the more uneasy I felt. All sense of security is lost as I fumbled through the dark rooms trying to find materials and avoid detection. I only hope that this becomes a central theme later on in the game because the dynamic of restoring a car while your mental state deteriorates sounds like an amazing premise. As you craft new materials, more of the base becomes available to you. Quickly, you learn new ways to utilize the materials you've gathered to make new items and tools. By using these new items, you can improve your car to get through the harsh terrain that lies ahead and hopefully escape. The future of this adventure excites me because there's just so much available within the first 2 hours that I can't wait to see what the later chapters have in store. Sure, there are some pretty eerie moments of gameplay, but I'm all in for it to understand how the relationship between human and machine is portrayed through these supernatural adventures. Pacific Drive is coming to PlayStation 5 and PC on February 22nd, 2024. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Glowing pillar into the sky. Drive into it. Yes, it looks like hot death, but it's so much better than getting scrambled by the instability.
Noisy Pixel.